the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No, it's high Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man. Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
Fuck.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches in the What is going on, folks? Welcome to what I believe the last Monday night recap we've got for the rest of the football season here. Texans take down the Steelers in the wild card round, last wild card game of the weekend here. And yeah, I mean, very boring game, but Texans handled their business in Pittsburgh and they move on to the divisional round. So with that being said, I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
And I am Malin Dennis.
And I'm the other co-host, June Wilson.
And I am semi-awake, semi-here, and semi-personable. Your one and only G-Money.
Gentlemen, G-Money said it best. We are all still awake. We managed to stay awake throughout.
Barely.
A riveting game between the Texans and Steelers there. Let me pull up the stats here. Shout out to Star Wars 9918 in the chat saying that Aaron Rodgers needs to retire. He is on Aaron Rodgers' ass. He did not wait any time to get right onto that one.
I second that emotion, Star Wars fan.
He says, as an Eagles fan, Texans offense was bad. That's saying something. All right. So the final score was 30-6. CJ Stroud, 250 yards, a touchdown, a pick, a couple fumbles in there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, 146 yards, 1 interception, which came at the very end of the game. The fact that the Steelers offense only put up 6 points throughout this entire game is unbelievable. They took a page out of the Chargers book from last night. So, Malin, I'll start with you first on this one. What did you think of Aaron Rodgers' performance here in what may be his last game?
I thought it was fitting for a man such as Aaron Rodgers to this more than likely be his last game in the NFL. And I was cheering the hardest I cheered during this game was when he threw that last interception. And I was wanting that defensive back to run it back into the end zone so that his last pass could be a pick six. I just thought that's just such a great fitting stamp on that man's egotistical career. But I mean, I didn't expect the Steelers to score much points on this because everyone was kind of sleeping on the Texans defense. They were the number one defense in points allowed all year until week 18. They fly all over the place. I mean, nobody could do anything. All I heard this whole week was about Warren and Gainwell and how they were gonna, be able to help move this Steelers offense, and they did so great for 18 carries for 63 yards and a 3.5-yard average. Metcalf, boy, did they miss his 2 catches, didn't they? For those two. I mean, he was missing. I mean, he caught one ball, I think on the first drive, and then after that he didn't catch another ball till like midway through the fourth. So they just couldn't do anything. Even when Stroud would fumble the ball, which, I mean, he had 5 fumbles. They only lost 2 of them, but he fumbled it 5 times. That was, I mean, it would have been an even bigger beatdown if it wasn't for Stroud not being able to keep his hands on the damn ball.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, Rodgers. What a game.
Yeah, from that first drive the Steelers had, when they went out on third down, I think he tried to throw it at the Gainwell on the outside, and either he sailed it or Gainwell wasn't where he's supposed to be. But within like 2 minutes, he was already barking at his players, and I was like, well, I see where this is going. Like, it just got out there.
We've read this book.
Right.
Oh my God!
And
Same chapter.
Yes, that you just never flip the page, really. This offense just stuck in the mud completely. And like you said, DK Metcalf came back. He might as well not have because he wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Convinced that Aaron Rodgers wants to fire Jonnu Smith into the face of the sun because he is completely useless. And pretty much, I mean, just the rest of those guys, I'm just like, ugh, what is this? Just, I don't know. A bunch of pieces that don't seem to fit together and are aging quickly. June, want to hear from you on this part of things. Mike Tomlin, do you think that this was his last game coaching the Steelers?
I mean, it should be. I mean, this was just one of those things where you look at it and you have to ask yourself, if you are the Rooney family, do I want this again? It was a good run. We made it to the playoffs, but you get to the playoffs, you're at home. This team has a good defense, and you can't overcome. I mean, they CJ Stroud, there was 4 turnovers by the Texans, right? Through a pick. He had 2 fumbles lost. I think somebody else fumbled on the team. You can't put the ball in the end zone. You can't get your team to put the ball in the end zone to keep the game close so you can pull it out at the end. I mean, that's still good for the Texans defense, but you turn it over in there, but they turn them over in their side of the field. And that's something that you have to do. And for Mike Tomlin, it just didn't seem like he was very motivating to his team. I was watching his body language, and your team will go off of what the coach's body language is. And his body language said, I'm just not interested. That's what it felt like to me. And the team played very uninteresting football. And that has to do with the head coach. So the Rooneys, they have to make a decision because the fans are going to start barking. The fans are going to start barking. 7 straight losses in the playoffs. No wins, 0-7. That's not a good stat to have. And and this is the first time you had a home game in 7 years. For Mike Tomlin to not have his team ready to play, that's something that they need to take a look at. And for me, if I was the owner, Mike Tomlin would be gone come Monday morning. Or come Tuesday morning, Mike Tomlin would be gone.
G-Money, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they will fire him. Not there. That's not how they operate. But should they? Yeah, they really should. The Steelers have become stale and predictable. If they're not going to fire him, then they need to get themselves a offensive coordinator who is actually in the 2020s. Not Smith, who's still stuck in the 90s. And that's why he didn't make it as a head coach in Atlanta, because he didn't know how to use the players he had. But yeah, they should. Will they? Probably not. If anything, maybe they come to a understanding, because the Rooneys have been hands off as far as football operations go. It's what the GM and the coach want. Okay, go out and do it. Get those players, draft those players. You couldn't, as a head coach, you couldn't ask to coach for better owners, really, in that they don't meddle. You tell them what you need, you tell them what you're looking for, they tell you to go do it. But yeah, his game plan, and the sad thing is that they had the most expensive defense this year in the league. It actually did show up a little bit in this game, but in a lot of the and most of the games this season, it never did show up. And if they don't fire the coach, the OC has to go, and you have to get someone out there who maybe they miss out on a head coaching position. Maybe if Stefanski doesn't get hired, you hire him as your OC. Hell, Mike McDonald down from Miami, if he doesn't get a head coaching position, hire him as your OC. Bring your offense into the 2020s, and then draft some players that will fit that offense.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's going to be some major changes on that coaching staff, whether Tomlin's part of it or not. I think similar to just right across over in Baltimore that, yeah, like they also need to make a change at head coach. Whether that will actually happen, we'll see, but it seems like they just need a new voice there. I mean, the whole team seems like they just need wholesale changes, but moving to the team that won the game. Texans, CJ Stroud, 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Malin, what do you think of the way that CJ Stroud played tonight?
Outside of fumbling the ball a bunch, Gary and I were talking about it for the game ended that Houston showed that they could move the ball, they just couldn't hold on to the ball. And the moment they held on to the ball, they started scoring some more points, especially when the defense started getting fumble recoveries and returning them for touchdowns and picking off Aaron Rodgers. Like, the game really got away from them, but they were able to move the ball. I think it'll be an interesting matchup next week against the Patriots, because what does this game look like if CJ Stroud doesn't fumble the ball 5 times and lose 2 of them and throws an interception? I mean, you're talking about what, like 7 stalled drives right there, just because he couldn't hold on to the ball. Even if he didn't lose the ball, you're still going backwards. It's pretty much like a sack at that point. So what if he doesn't make those mistakes? How bad do they beat the Steelers? So if he plays mistake-free football, I think it could be an interesting game against the Patriots. I would still favor the I don't even know what the money line is since the game just ended. I thought he played all right.
June?
Yeah, I thought that CJ, besides the mistakes that was made, and one of them, that snap when that center snapped the ball, that was not his fault, clearly, because that was a center snapping the ball too early. But they end up getting back on top of that one. But a couple others, they were just bonehead plays. So he has to watch that, because he can't make those same mistakes against a Vrabel-led defense, because they will take advantage of it. And that's one of the things that I'm pretty sure that their coach is going to be looking at come next week, is how can we minimize these mistakes, because you can't do this 2 weeks in a row and get away with it. You're going to have a different style of team, a team that can actually run the ball very well, and a team that can actually pass the ball. So D'Amico Ryan is definitely going to be looking at that. But overall, I think he played a very pedestrian game. Can I say that? I think Kirk bailed him out, because Kirk was just like the man. And Nico Collins probably, I don't know if you guys heard it when they said that he was on his knees for a long time before he got up and went into the tent. I don't know if he's going to be back next week. I don't think he's going to pass. So they're going to need Kirk to have another one of these games, because Kirk did bail him out on some of those plays. And their third down percentage, Aaron Rodgers couldn't hit the side of a barn on third down, where CJ Stroud was making those third down plays. I think at one point, wasn't the Steelers were 0 for 7 at one point, and then the Texans were like 5 for 6 or 3 for 6, at some point. So that's what CJ Stroud did very well in this game. But those mistakes going forward, if they want to come out on top next week, they have to minimize those.
you mentioned the Nico Collins injury. G Money, how important do you think Nico Collins is to the Texans in this next round of the playoffs?
He's the number one wide receiver. He's very important to them. If he doesn't start, if he's out because of concussion or because of knee, I don't know. I don't know who their backup is. I'm sure I can check and see. I mean, it would be Captain Kirk and a cast of Star Trek cast-offs, but let's take a look. Let's see who he could be pulling in other than that. But yeah, it's going to be Nico's not going to be playing. It'll be Christian Kirk as long as he can play. Jaden Higgins and Xavier Hutchinson. So yeah, very important. Very important. If he can't play, then one of those backups will have to pick up the slack. And really, I don't think, well, they're not Nico Collins. If they were, they would be starting it ahead of him or on the other side of him. So if he's not starting, they need to figure out who they're going to use as a backup and how the progression is going to be. But that being said, if New England doesn't pay attention to whoever is replacing Nico Collins, they could have a big game, especially since Gonzalez looks like he's not going to be playing for the Patriots. So if Gonzalez, a cornerback, is, and he's their best cornerback, and then you have Nico not playing for Houston, that's kind of almost a wash. You can put Kirk on the side where Gonzalez would be playing, and you can put whomever you want on the other side.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah, big deal if you lose him, and but not as big as if Gonzalez was playing.
We'll have to see in the next few days, like, injury reports, see who's actually starting and who's not. So it'll be interesting. With this, though, it does complete this round. So now we know Texans, Patriots, Bills, Broncos, and then over the NFC, we've got Seahawks, Niners, and Bears, Rams all next weekend.
Ooh.
So
good ass games, boy.
we've got a good divisional round.
Games.
Is there one
Woo.
or any particular game you guys are most excited for in this next round?
We know what the Seattle. You don't have to ask them. And that's not even a question. We know what yours is. The game that I'm looking most forward to, I think it's going to have a big impact on who actually goes to the Super Bowl, is going to be the Rams. I'm sorry. Will be Denver and the Bills.
Oh, yeah.
That game is going to be big for so many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so many, because everybody talking about, you guys talked about it. I heard some announcers talking about it, that if Josh Allen, this is his chance. The two guys that always stop him are gone. The three guys, Burrow's not in it either. That always stop him is gone. So this is his chance to make it through. So I'm going to be looking at that Denver and Bills game to see what Josh Allen does. Does he have enough juice left in the tank to go to Mile High and then pull out another victory? Can he do it on the road again? That's what I'm looking at.
You know what would just be the dumbest thing, Jalen, is if the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots, we both have these great 14-win seasons, and you're the number 2, we're the number 1 seed, and what is our gift in the playoffs? A title game against a division rival. Like, if we end up having to play the Rams, like if we beat San Francisco and then we got to play the Rams, you got to have the Bills. I mean, I think you would rather have the Bills and have to go to Denver. I don't know what's in your mind there, but I just think there's something about like the divisional matchups, man, in the playoffs, they scare me. I don't think home field advantage is as big
Right.
of a thing when you're playing a division guy because they play in those stadiums. Like they're kind of used to noise a little bit. And you're playing a team for the third time. So I don't know. I don't want that. I'd much rather beat the Niners and then just play the Bears, but
It very much
Same
gives
here.
me the same vibe as like a game 7 in an NBA series, where it's like,
yeah.
all right, at this point, everyone knows each other. Like you all know what you're about to do. It's just a matter of who wants it more at this point.
Can you stop it? Yeah, can you stop it? It's like what Kobe did to the Celtics that year.
I don't remember that.
Everybody in the fourth quarter knew Kobe was gonna take every single shot. Everybody knew that. But I want to say one more thing about the Steelers and the Texans. I had this thought in my mind about that game. The Steelers are going to need a younger quarterback because there was a couple of times, I don't know if you guys noticed this, there was a couple of times in this game where Aaron Rodgers could have took off and ran for the first down. And he chose to try to throw it. A younger quarterback with younger legs, even though if the guy is not a scrambler, like Drake May isn't a scrambler, right? Justin Herbert is not a scrambler. But guess what? If they get outside the pocket, they got options. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have that option. And that's a problem I saw with the Steelers. I saw that a few times with the Steelers all season long. Of course, I had to watch their games because I'm up here on the East Coast and I'm in the Northeast, so I had to watch their games a lot of times. I watched that a couple of times this season where Aaron Rodgers just doesn't have the leg. Remember when Aaron Rodgers was younger in Green Bay, what would he do? He'd take his first read, second read. If the third read is there, he tried to pop it. If not, he's popping out, and he's going to run for the first time. He's going to run for the first down. I saw that all season long with the Steelers, and they lost a couple of games just because Aaron Rodgers could not move, and he could not get down the field and get that critical first down using his legs. And that's something that the Steelers going forward is going to need to do. If they bring Aaron Rodgers back, they're going to have the same season they just had, the exact same season, and probably worse. And so,
June, my man, do you know how hard it is to run with a walker? You can't. You just can't. I mean, no matter how much you want to, you just can't. Yeah, if they bring Aaron Rodgers back, if he wants to come back and they bring, he's going to be 20% worse than he was this year because you just lose it. And you're right, June. I mean, not only outside, but there were a couple of times when everything opened up and he could have ran right up the middle and gotten 7-8 yards. But yeah, you're right. He number one, he doesn't have the speed that he once had. And number two, I'm pretty sure of this. After that hit with the Jets 2 years ago where it had put him out at the third play of the first game and he was out for the rest of the season, I think that sits with him. And he doesn't want to get hit like that.
Right.
And you know good and well that there's a linebacker or a safety that sees him running and thinks, I am going to lay you out.
Right. Yeah, it's one of the things that I noticed all season with him. And that's what I think that's kind of with the offense. Now, Arthur Smith is a terrible offensive coordinator. But that would help the offense a little bit if you had a younger quarterback and could actually move outside the pocket or, like G Money just said, go up the middle, get that 7-8 quick yards, and then you don't have 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 8. Now you got 3rd and 3. That's what they missed this season. That Steelers offense missed that element along with another bona fide number one receiver. That's something else they're going to have to look at too. They're going to need that bona fide number one guy. I believe DK Metcalf is a hyped up number 2 and a low number 1, but he's not a number 1 receiver for any team but the Steelers because they don't have a number 1. So they're going to have to go out there and get that guy.
Are we still talking about the team that got boat raced 30-6? All this time
Hey,
Fred?
now in all fairness, it was 13-6 going in, or 7-6 going into the fourth quarter, and then and then defenses couldn't keep on doing it. Hey,
They were tired.
Not how you start
yeah,
a
they
season.
were. They were gassed. I was looking at DraftKings. They got the point spreads out for the four playoff teams. So looking at, I'll give you the home teams: Denver -1.5, the Seahawks -7.5,
Mm.
the Patriots -3,
Okay, that's right.
and the Bears +3.5. So
Those NFC.
I find that interesting.
AFC ones I've got no problem with. The NFC ones.
I don't know why you
very
humming it.
interesting.
That's easy. I don't know why that's a thing.
I mean, 7.5 scares me. It does.
7.5 is a lot.
It is a hell of a lot of points.
I think we'll be fine.
I mean, yeah, I think the Seahawks are going to win the game, but you got to say by 7.5 with a division rival. You know what I'm saying?
Well, by basically, you got to win by 8.
Hey,
I mean,
we had a bad offensive output in week 18, and we still won by 10. Didn't we?
It might come down. You know what? It might come down by Wednesday, though. So, Jalen, if you check by Wednesday, yeah, it might be down. So,
yeah. So if you want our picks, come back on Wednesday night around 9:30. So for the full show, that's where you'll find that and much more. So, gentlemen, until Wednesday, we will see you all around. See you on social media. Go easy in the comments. You guys are already talking crazy. It's not even been 24 hours since the end of some of these games. So we'll see you back in a couple of days. Have a good Tuesday. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace out, guys.